It is review time, everybody. We are back. Bourbon on a Budget. Myself, CJ Pittenger, Brendan Sonone, and Ben Cock. And we are reviewing Willett Pot Still today. Brendan, tell us a little about Willett Pot Still.
All right. Willett Pot Still comes in this really weird but really cool bottle. It's actually like shaped like a pot still, which is nice. So here's what we got to know about Willett. Straight bourbon. Is this in a weird position? I'm going to move it towards not.
Speaking of the microphone.
All right. So Willett Pot Still. It's from Willett Distillery, but depending on like what year you have of it, there's some people that say it is sourced from other Kentucky distilleries. Some say it's now in-house, or maybe it's percentages and blended. There isn't an age statement on it. It is 94 proof, and its price ranges, let me check my notes here, about between $40 to $60. I got mine for about $40 in South Georgia. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, is this lovely pot still bottle.
Okay, you guys have already poured yours because you're jerks and don't wait for things to happen correctly.
What are you talking about? Oh.
Really good. I thought that was a good cork. I wanted the cork to be very dramatic.
That was solid.
It was amazing.
So I will pour mine, and we will try not to make a mess because I want to get this on camera because it's really important. That's enough. That's enough pot still.
I would say arguably the Willett is the best bottle under $50. There is not a bottle shape that is better than that.
Is there a better bottle anywhere? Like, what's a better bottle right now?
Well, so I wanted you to pour it, TJ.
I did on camera.
Oh, no, you did. We saw it. The experiment was, mine's gotten really weird to pour as I've gotten about halfway through. So you're a little bit lower than I am.
I just go like this.
It's clunky. It makes a mess. You can hear the air going into it. It will go.
Oh my gosh!
So did you hear that on mine? No, it's just you. It's you. You're the problem, not the pot still bottle. You.
I don't like the direction of this.
I remember the first time I was pouring bourbon too.
Hey, can we point out for this review that Ben, if you want to show it to the people back at home, Ben, you have a new glass, a Glencairn.
Got it, baby.
Woo.
Upgraded. Got these brand new in from Amazon. Amazing. If you don't have a set of these, they're rather inexpensive, so you might as well grab a couple of them. I got 4 for like $25.
We have some coming in. It's not going to look just like this, but we have some coming in with the Bourbon on a Budget up here, which we've seen the proofs. They look a little bit better. We've got some coming in. A couple of you will get those as giveaways, and then we'll order more to I don't care if we make any money off. We'll just sell them to you guys and let you guys have some too. But Bourbon on a Budget, Glencairn's coming soon. Cool. Soon is relative, but they're coming. All right, let's jump into this. You guys have been nosing it for a while, so you guys start us off.
Ben keeps saying it's weird, and I agree with him totally. So when I first started smelling it, and I have a weird nosing process that for the show anyways, I was telling you guys pre-show, it's like a 2 or 3 hour process of letting it breathe, pouring it back into the bottle, smelling just the glass. But I feel like it gives me an in-depth perspective into it. So what I get is one vanilla, like the classic vanilla jumps out of the glass, and you think it's going to be kind of light and airy and friendly, but then it gets kind of funky. I get like raw peanuts, like just straight up peanuts, not even shelled peanuts. So I get that weird, like kind of spice from that. But then it kind of turns into like some cinnamon, confectioner sugar. So it's like sweet. It's got like almost like, but like a harsher earthy smell too, like leather. So I don't know. It's all over the place. Ben, help me out here. It's weird. It's a weird.
I don't know.
variety.
I think mine's a little more weird than that. I get a lot of like buttered popcorn and butterscotch. So if you're gonna like go to the movie theaters with your granddad, this is basically what it would smell like, just consistently. So
I did write down buttered bread on my notes from earlier. Yeah. Bourbon drinking with grandpa at the movie theater.
At the movie theater, that's exactly what it would smell like.
No, I did get the buttery on this as well. Also like raisins, dried fruit kind of too. I mean, it's all over the place. I'm struggling with it, and I don't know if I like it or not. I think I do, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So as someone who just poured theirs now, hasn't let it open up, I'm not getting the complexity that you guys are. I'm getting a lot of the vanilla and I get a lot of the butter, and that's pretty much where it ends for me. I'm sure that if I was hanging out with one of you guys, or if I had opened this earlier, I would maybe get some of those things. But even after you guys have said some of that, and you get some of those suggestive type scents in your head. I'm still not getting many of them. Trying really hard, but I'm just getting like a vanilla bomb and some butter. Definitely get the buttered popcorn, but like butter comes from like all of that's similar. Like the spice we talked about with peanuts, we talked about with peanut butter, we talked about, with butter. Like it's all kind of like closely linked. But yeah, my biggest thing is vanilla and the butter on it. I haven't drinking it yet. You guys have. Brendan, what are you tasting here?
The rye spice that my brain takes as peanuts jumps out to me, definitely. Almost to the point where it's so man, yeah, peanuts, but then I do get the rye like rye bread. Like I am getting this rye bread, very spicy. Some vanilla too with that as well, but more like what were the pudding packs back in the day, like the vanilla pudding packs? You remember these?
Snack packs?
Snack packs. I was gonna say snack.
Billy
snack
Madison.
Packs.
Yeah, come on, man.
Shampoo is better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get a little bit of the vanilla with it as well. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, to me, it's a little sweet on the palate. I think the initial taste is definitely on the sweeter side. I get a little bit of baking spice, cinnamon, clove, that kind of stuff. But it's not overly spiced by any means. I would say certainly sweeter, not on the sweeter vanilla side, just sweeter on like the fruit, apple, that kind of side, pear, peach, that kind of stuff.
My initial reaction is that it's complex because it's like a lot of different things, but I don't think it's cohesive. A little foreshadowing for those of you that's in the biz, they call that a teaser. It's a vanilla bar. It's very light on the palate. Like it's when it first hits your mouth, it is very sweet. And then just immediately, once I've taken that first sip and swallowed that first sip, it goes to like the spice and peanut flavor that Brendan kind of talked about. I get some of those bready notes that Brendan talked about as well. And so like it's totally all over the place with flavor, which I don't think is not like in a good way. Like the flavors don't complement each other. They're just kind of like, oh, it's this, now it's this, now it's this. So yeah, very sweet at the start, then spicy, not like overwhelmingly spicy, kind of like Ben mentioned. It's not like lights your hair on fire spicy, but definitely get those weird, like that peanut flavor is not good to me. Like I don't like that. In other things, what do we have? What was our second review? We kind of picked up the peanuts. Oh no, it was on the Russells, right?
It was on the Russells and the Wild Turkey. Both of those can sometimes with the rye.
I liked it there. I don't love it here. So flavors, the first sip is good. When it's really light and sweet, like that's what you like about bourbon. It just doesn't stick around like that very, very much. Talking about the taste, how's it finish for you, Ben?
I would say it finishes pretty well. I'm not having it kind of go away super quick. It's 94 proof, so it's a little bit higher than our Russells and certainly higher than anything would be in the 80s range. So it's just a little bit longer than average. So I'm not upset by the palate or the finish. I think they're all pretty, middle of the road.
Yeah, I think it goes away, or it doesn't go away, but nothing lingers that is like pleasant. Like there's not like it's just a very average finish to me. I'm kind of right there with you, Ben. Like it doesn't linger in a good or bad way. Maybe closer to bad just because I don't love the flavor of it, but it's not like the finish doesn't take away from it a ton or add to it at all. Brendan?
I'm kind of with you guys too. I feel very like torn on this because it'll go from liking it to not liking it and back and forth within a sip, within a nosing. It's all over the place. It's funky, so it's gonna definitely get that complexity score for us for sure. But as far as the finish, same thing. Like it goes from like, okay, it's kind of got a nice little burn to it, some baking spices, a little bit of kick there, but then that rye spice peanutty comes out again and it just isn't cohesive with everything else. So yeah, it's an average finish. It's just kind of disjointed like the rest of the drink.
Yeah, the nose is all over the place. The taste is all over the place. The finish, in saying that, like because the nose and the taste are all over the place, expecting a finish to just come and tie a big bow on it and cancel all that out. There's a reason we assign 1 point to finish and 5 or 6 points to those other two things that we just mentioned, nose and taste. So finish is much of the same with what we've been having. So let's rate this thing. Any final thoughts before we jump into some numbers?
Nope, let's do it. Numbers.
Numbers, people. Brendan is quoted as saying that this is the nerdiest way to review bourbon, and I could not agree more. Brendan, we will start with you. You got 2 points for a nose here. What are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it a 1. Like I said, it does some good things. It is disjointed, but it's not unpleasant. It's not really remarkable either. 1 average nose. It's fine.
Ben?
Completely agree. It's 1. No more, no less.
Yeah, I'm going to make it a trio. I lean probably towards 1.25, but since we haven't introduced quarter points, I won't do it. It's not good enough for 1.5. The nose is my favorite thing about this, though. So I would give it I would give it a 1.25 if we were doing that. Brendan has not let me yet. So
do we want to do that? No, wait, maybe. We'll see.
In the future. Yeah, I got just not tonight. Taste. Brendan, we'll start with you again.
1.5. It's, again, I just disjointed. It's the word I'm going to keep coming back to. It does some things well, some other things funky and weird. Slightly below average to me, so I can't give it a full 2 there. 1.5.
Ben?
Gosh, are we gonna be the same the entire time? I'm convinced we are. Like 1.5 seems really, really appropriate here. Yeah, I'm staying with that.
And I think about if you guys were testing this out 5 hours ahead of time, like I am too.
I actually want to go with a 1 here. I'm not going with a 1.5. I'm going to give it a solid 1.
Wow.
At its best, it's a 2. At its worst, it's like I don't love it. Like I just don't love how much the peanut comes in. It's all over the place, and there's a lot of different flavors. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm leaving a 1. I'm sorry.
Stick it to the man.
I don't want to be a 1.5, but
actually, you know what? Never mind.
Well, I want to give it a little bit of grace because I will say it's pretty smooth. The one thing I will say is I don't love the flavor. The smoothness of it is fine. Like it's easy to drink, but I don't know. One for me. Finish. Ben, out of 1 point. What do you think?
Probably a 0.
0 on the finish. Yeah, I'll let Brendan go first. See if I can get anything out of it before I get there.
I can't deal. Ben's just a maniac today. It's unbelievable. I gave it a 0.5. Again, very average. Right down home. That's me right in the middle.
Yeah.
0.5.
I'm going 0.5 as well. I didn't love the finish. I also didn't hate it. The finish is what it is because it was lacking in taste and nose. So cohesiveness and complexity. Brendan, you go on this one.
Well, definitely not cohesive, but it is complex if nothing else. So I'm gonna go, what do we get out of 1, correct? 0.5. It hits like 100% of one of the criteria and 0% of the others. So again, right down the middle.
You took the words out of my mouth. 0.5 for me too. Exactly for that reason. Not cohesive at all, but I mean it is complex in the worst way possible. Ben?
Yeah, 0.5.
0.5. So out of 8, Brendan has given this a 3.5.
Oh gosh.
I have given this a 3. I thought I was being harsh, but Brendan kind of gave the same thing I did. And Ben has given this a 3. So 3 out of 8. So as bad as that sounds, 3 out of 8, not great. Slightly below average, right? We think, and I read a book, and we're going to go deep into this. I feel like we have to almost justify our first bad rating or below average rating. Every rating system you see out there basically starts at 80 and then goes up because those rating companies are getting paid by the different liquor companies to rate things highly. And if they rated something a 2 out of 10, nobody would buy it. So the worst bourbons and beers and wines and everything starts at an 80. And so we automatically assume that the scale is higher. We're not going to do that. We're going to be honest. So 3 out of 8, not great by any means, not even average, but slightly below average, which I think is being more fair than just saying we're going to rate everything a 6 or higher. Some things are going to be 6 or lower.
We're not getting paid.
We're not getting paid yet, but if you pay us, we'll rate your stuff a 10.
Oh,
Willett Pot Still, you can beat Wild Turkey 101 if you just pay us. So
Just give us a call. Just give us a call.
This Willett is so cohesive.
dude, the way those flavors blend. So value.
All right.
Let's put a bow on this thing. Value out of 2. Brendan, you had the highest score. You go first.
I guess 0.5. Yeah, so half a point there. It's a below average value, especially when we're talking about it being between $40 and $60. If someone's paying $60 for this, even though the bottle's pretty cool, maybe someone wants to give an extra point for the bottle. Not me. I have a hard time pouring it. 0.5.
You suck at pouring, so the bottle. He like tried to set me up to pour. Like before the show started, he's like, "Make sure you pour on camera," and he's like, "Oh, he didn't spill any." Ben, go ahead.
So I would say 40 to 60 is a huge range. If you can buy this bottle for $40, I'm giving it 1 point. The bottle itself is worth a point, and it's amazing. Think of it as this: you get a infinity bottle that's comes to you free, filled with bourbon. That's how I'm looking at it. It's the best infinity bottle you'll buy that comes with bourbon in it.
If you're not
1
sure,
point.
if you're not sure what an infinity bottle is, Google that now. If you're driving, don't Google it. Google it later. I'm going 1 point as well. The bottle does kind of redeem it. I almost gave this a 1.5 just for the bottle, but I didn't. I stuck with that. Brings our total scores to 4 across the board. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10's not great, just very slightly below average. 4 out of 10, the best bottle on the market. The problem is that's the best thing about it. The bottle's the best thing. The nose is the second best, and then the rest of the bourbon kind of falls flat. It's not by any means unpalatable. It's not like I'm not going to drain pour this. I'm not going to dump it out. It's a slightly below average bourbon, and that's okay. It's a novelty thing.
I would say this is great if you have people coming over to your house that don't know too much about bourbon, and they see it sitting there in your cabinet, and you're like, oh man, I got the nice stuff. Look at the best bottle in here. Pour that out. Oh, they're gonna be loving it.
It definitely. Yes, I'll just say I don't say
just
where.
Agree with me on that.
But
one.
I've done that with this. Like I took that to somebody who was like kind of had like a special event going on. That's where most of this has gone. And I was like, hey, I brought something good. Like I'll pour everybody some. And they were like, oh, that's awesome, man. Thanks so much. And so they were thrilled, man. They had no clue.
Yeah.
If you see this so buy or don't buy. We gave it a 4 out of 10. Let's buy or don't buy and then get out of here.
Buy once. Buy at least once, have the bottle. It's just, it's a cool bottle to have. You have to have it.
I think so. I agree with that. Brendan, disagree.
Stupid bottle, hard to pour.
Well, there goes Willett's chance of sponsoring the podcast. So, all right, guys, we will be back next week with another episode of Bourbon on a Budget. Follow us on social media, Bourbon Budget, on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, you can search Bourbon on a Budget. Subscribe here on iTunes and YouTube, wherever you're viewing or listening to this. And we appreciate you guys for hanging out. Cheers.